Meet a success story of the back streets of Spain. In less than 15 seconds, this man can make a fortune. Meet your worst nightmare. At an expensive Chinese restaurant, the lobster you've chosen to eat looks superb, but it's not, and it isn't. In a seafront Miami bar, the barman is washing glasses. You're about to be robbed. In the back streets of the world's top tourist resorts, the cheats are waiting. These people think they are the studio audience for a TV game show called Beat the Cheat. But they're not. Every member of this audience is in for a surprise. By the time they take their seats, they'll have eaten food which is not what it seems, drunk a very strange drink, and had their watches and wallets removed by a highly professional team of pickpockets. This is not a joke. This is not a game. This is real life. Welcome to a chance to pit your wits against the world's most successful tricksters and cheats. So, welcome to Beat the Cheat! Yes, very good. I'm so glad you came, because tonight we have music, we have spectacle, we have 101 wizard wheezes, cunning stunts and yards of neon. Prepare yourselves, brace yourselves, it's going to be a bumpy night. I'd like you to meet writer, singer, and professional victim, Roy Hill. And then we have former international card sharp and gambler, the lovely Mr. Simon Lovell. Former Deputy Chief Constable of Greater Manchester, John Stalker. And that in-depth television journalist, Trish Williamson.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before we begin the show, or in fact, as we begin the show, let me ask you one question, a simple question. How many of you in the next 12 months are planning to go on holiday? Come on, show me, put your hands up. Fine.
Well, say we sent you all to Spain on holiday for a fortnight. Fantastic thought, isn't it? I think I'd be there with you. How many people in this audience, if you all went to Spain, do you think would get ripped off in that fortnight? One maybe, perhaps 5. Well, the answer actually is 1 in 10. 1 in 10 of you people here tonight would get robbed or cheated on holiday.
When he first sets foot on foreign soil, the tourist turns into a suburban gorilla with a Hawaiian shirt for a uniform and common sense his only weapon.
What are you doing out here?
That house got a long way from Hammersmith flyover.
I thought exactly around a quarter of Manchester yourself, John.
You'll have a break, Fred.
Now, John, get out in here. Jump, then we've got plenty to talk about. Nice shirt, pity about the body.
The only one I've got.
Taxis are the first opportunity that cheats get to take you for a ride. London cabbie Fred Housego gives us their knowledge on the tricks of their trade.
How long have you been a cabbie, Fred?
About 20 years, mate.
So there were cheats when you began and there are cheats now. How do people like us spot them?
Well, first and foremost, depends what you mean by cheats. If we're talking about a licensed cab driver, and there's no way of spotting him because he's masquerading as a legitimate cab driver. And there are very few genuinely, I know I speak from the heart here, of course, John.
Of course.
There are very few that are genuinely crooked. I mean, the worst thing they can do to you is overcharge you, right? Where the villainy comes in are those who feed off the edges of the cab trade, the touts. Every airport's got one. You came through Malaga and guys are coming up and they're going, you want a taxi, sir? You want a taxi? Now, when a guy's got to do that, when there's a legitimate rank put there for the purpose of giving you a ride, you know the guy's crooked. So if he approaches you like this, you know the guy is bent, so don't go with it.
What sort of thing are pirate cabs looking for, or pirate cab drivers looking for, as the punter comes through the door at Malaga Airport?
What I'm looking for is bewilderment. A person who comes out, doesn't know the exits, doesn't know what the signs look like. And he's looking for a friend. And that's where the con man comes into his own. He's looking for somebody who looks like he can afford his price.
Is it right that men are more connable than women?
Easily. And I'll tell you why. Women deal in small amounts of money every day of the week, from shopping and so on. The man, the credit cards, the business account, etc. And the problem is, there's a certain sense of self-esteem. So when he gets conned, he doesn't want to admit it, and when he gets into the car, the guy says, that'll be 18 quid, but it should be 5, he'll pay. Whereas if there's a woman involved, yeah, take me round the neck.
There you go, John, how about that? Nice talking to you. How much do you owe you, Fred?
720 quid, mate.
720 what?
Look, a tip for you. Next time you get into a cab, you don't know where you're going, get an idea of the fare before you take off.
Well, where have you brought me?
Have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alison, who freely has volunteered to join us in this next section of Beat the Cheat. Alison, you're probably wondering why you're sat here, taped to the stool, watching the video wall, with the audience behind you. Why? Why indeed, ladies and gents? We're going to see how good Alison is with a credit card. Do you have a credit card, Alison?
No, I don't.
I just noticed your husband Mark is in tears out there. Seems to be sobbing rather bitterly at the thought of you having a credit card. We're going to play a little game, ladies and gents, and I'm going to introduce you now to the Beat the Cheat button baton. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is hold this in whichever hand you prefer, yes? And at some point, I'm going to ask you to bash it on the head like that, okay? Sorry, Mark. What we're going to do is we're going to watch a piece of film. There's going to be a cheat in it. When you spot the cheat, beat your baton. It is a baton. She does have to beat it. I'm very sorry. Now, you'll come into contact with the cheatometer, which is a thin green line which will disappear across the screen. Take your time. You will see what happens. It's an obvious thing. And beat your baton when you see the cheat, okay? So let's roll this next piece of film for what I think is going to be a very amusing and interesting interlude, ladies and gents, mainly because I haven't seen the piece of film myself. Okay then, on we go. Oh, it's rather like Twin Peaks. There, he's taken off the credit card. He'll be back in a minute, though. No obvious cheat yet. He's brought something back. There you are, signing the customer copy. Don't forget, you're the camera, you're the customer, it's your credit card. You fool, man. Nothing so far. Okay, he's given the customer copy back. He's even given you a souvenir pen. Did you not understand the game?
No.
This is my first time ever on television, and you seem convinced that it should be my last. You didn't see the cheat. Did anyone see the cheat, ladies and gents? Yes. What actually happened was he brought back a completely different credit card. It was even a different color. So remember, ladies and gents, if you're abroad, every time you give your credit card away, every time you take it back, check that it's yours. Isn't that right, John?
That's right. Alison having some trouble with the old bill there.
Yes.
I know the feeling. Now, if that had been a £50 note, you would have checked your change so carefully before you put it away. But because it was a credit card, you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Now then, what happens is that the waiter or somebody working with him can use your credit card for 24 hours. He can use it to his heart's content, and the following day, pass it on to somebody else, and you pick up the bill.
When you go abroad, you're not going to be able to drop by your friendly local restaurant. It's going to be somewhere you've never been before, but it may not be the home of good food. It might be the lair of the food fakers. Now, the principle of food faking is quite simple. You don't get what you pay for, you get something completely different. In fact, you get something very much cheaper. Now, our chefs have prepared a selection of rip-offs behind me here. They look absolutely fantastic, but what do they taste like? We've got a salmon mousse here. It looks exactly like a salmon mousse to me. Curtis, would you like to take a wee taste of that? Get stuck in there, that's it. And tell me what you think it tastes like.
It tastes like salmon.
Curtis says it tastes like salmon. But this beautiful salmon mousse is in fact made from a tin of tuna with the added juice of 1 tin of pink salmon, and that gives it the appropriate smell and taste. After adding cream and shoving the whole lot through a blender, the dodgy restaurant makes a killing out of you. Because wild salmon is £10.50 a pound, tuna is only 60 or 70 pence a tin.